This is all you ever need to become a UX designer in 2025. And so this is going to entail everything you need to learn, every skills you need to learn, and it's going to act as a pathway for you to guide you in your journey. And I also have an ultimate guide that I already created on Notion that includes all the knowledge that I'm going to mention here. You also include resources, which includes like tools that you need to load, inspirations, where to get copyright free images, how to get icons, design systems that are available. This is an ultimate guide because it includes all the resources I have used in my 3 years journey as a UX designer, and this is something that is going to be helpful even if you're a beginner or you are a junior designer, intermediary, or even a senior designer. These resources are well packed, and I'm going to give you a guide on how to get the resources at the end of the video. So let's get started. So first, you're going to start with UX design. So to become a UX designer, you need to understand what UX design is. And inside UX design, we have the UI design. So that's why we can see people say, oh, I'm a UI UX designer, or I'm a product designer. So you need to understand what UX design is. You need to understand what UI design is. Then you need to understand the difference between UX design and UI design. The full meaning of UX is user experience design. So it's like the experience of your user. Then UI is user interface. So that's all I'm just going to make mention of this part. So you have to understand what UX design is. You have to understand what UI design is. The difference between the two. Okay, even though UI is a subset of UX, you still need to know the difference between the two. So after that, then you need to understand what are like feed roles available in UX design. So under this same UX design, we have interaction design, we have motion, we have UI design, like I said, is a subset. We have iconography, we have UX researcher. We have a lot of roles actually, but I'm going to need you to like do more research. So you need to understand the roles that are available. Then after understanding that, now you need to understand what are UX design framework. So when I'm talking about UX design frameworks, I'm talking about the frameworks and processes that are involved with UX design. So I'm talking about lean UX, talking about design thinking. You might be familiar with design thinking if you are doing your research because it's the most commonly used, but we have other frameworks as well. So you need to understand these frameworks, understand the process, understand when to use them actually, and understand like their steps. So these are things you need to know about that. Now we are going to focus on this UX design framework, design thinking in particular. Like I said, it is the mostly used. So we're going to talk about the empathize. This is like one of the stage. So from the empathize stage, this is where you actually have to like understand user research. Then under user research, you need to understand quantitative research and qualitative research. And you have to know if you are performing a primary research or a secondary research. And same in here, you have to understand research methods. And when we're talking about research methods, I'm going to mention a few that are well known, like the interview surveys. You should be familiar with the two. Interview surveys, we have visibility testing, we have competitive audits, we have card sorting, and every other method, but these are like the commonly used one. We have fit study, we have a lot, so you should please do your research on that. After understanding research method, you need to learn how to conduct a research, and this includes knowing the research goal, setting research questions, and actually conducting what you need to tell your participants, how to get your participants for the research, what you need to tell them, how you need to record and document the whole research, because you're not going to be the only designer working on the team, so other people need to like know exactly what happened. So you have to document it, and that means you need to know the legal rules around that, which is basically you have to like tell your participants this is the purpose of the research, this is how you're going to use their information that you got from them, so that your company don't get sued. Still on empathize, right? After which you are going to an empathy map. An empathy map is just a map that shows that you understand your customer. So I'm going to draw one here now. So it's just the first square that documents what does the customer says, what does the customer do, what does the customer feel, what does the customer think. And this empathy map, everything you have in here is from the results, the insights you got from the research. Then you need to understand user pain points. This basically means you understand the user problem. That is all. We understand their problem. And we have different types of user pain points, right? We have the financial, we have the support, we have the process, and we have the product. So you want to know exactly which area does their pain points align with, and you can just take it from there. So after which you need to understand user personas. So personas are like a description of who you are actually solving a problem for, a description that actually represents a group of people. So you need to do more research, like I said. Then you need to understand the benefits of this, and you actually need to like draw a user persona. You need to draw one, you need to make one so that you can understand the structure and everything. Then user story, a statement that actually said, okay, as a so I want to do this so that I can do this. So it's just a very short statement that covers who your user is, the problem you are solving, and why you are solving the problem. So you need to understand the user journey map. Then this is when we are definitely going to go into like the ideation. For design thinking, the second step is need to ideate. So ideate basically means generating ideas. So when you're generating ideas, you need to understand the ideation method that exists. We have crazy 8, we have how might we, and we have card sorting too. In here, card sorting is a research method, but it's also an ideation method. So depending on the context and at which stage you're actually using that method. So what is wireframe, paper wireframe, data wireframe? So you need to understand that and know how to actually do that. So when we get to wireframe, that means you're already using your design tools at this point. So you are going to start learning Figma. But I'm going to advise, like I said, this is a guide and this can help you from the beginning. This is just the UX aspect. And I said UI is a subset in UX. But we've not even touched on the UI aspect of this. This is just UX. And UX basically means that as you are doing this UX, you simultaneously start working on the UI, because it takes time to like build the right skills for you to have that clean user interface. And most companies are going to judge your skills based on that. When you start your journey, start UX and UI at the same time. Don't keep one for the other. They are both important, but your UI takes more time for you to like master. So you need to understand the influence of psychology in UX design. What is your goal statement? You need to understand goal statements. So you need to understand storyboarding. Now, the most important, you need to understand UX design principles. The UX design career is not art, like I would say. It's a mixture of art and science, so there are guidelines guiding everything. So you need to understand that. Then you need to understand how to design for accessibility in design. So this means you are designing for people with disability. So this means you are designing for accessibility and assertive technology. This includes text readers and all of those technologies. So you need to understand that. And this is going to come from the UX as well as the UI. Like I said, the UX determines the UI. Then you need to understand how to design for ethical and inclusive design. So inclusive design means designing for every race and designing ethically. This means you are staying away from dark patterns in UX design, which brings us to you understanding dark patterns. What are dark patterns used in UX design? I'm going to make mention of something very important, which is a problem statement. So you should write your problem statement. If you check case studies of senior designers, any UX designer you know, you're going to see a problem statement there. And problem statement is basically a sentence that explains what problem you are trying to solve. Okay, that is it for UX design. So we'll be going to the aspect of the UI design now. So this is where you will design clean interface. So the first thing you need to know that is you're using Figma. Figma is the design tool that we're using. So this means all of this that I'm going to talk about is going to be practiced on Figma. So the first thing that you need to know is the UI design principles. So and these are like proximity, hierarchy, balance. So you can do more research on that. UI design principles. Then after that, you need to take Figma tutorial. In the ultimate guide, I'm going to give you links to Figma tutorial that you can start with. Then you're going to learn design system. Here you just want to know what is design system, right? Then still under design system, you're going to learn style guide, because this is mostly what you're going to use if you are just starting out. So you're not going to create a design system for a small project. You're going to use a style guide instead. So design system means these are like guidelines and rules that you're going to use for a particular project. So this includes the brand color, the spacing system, the type scales. So this is everything that you're going to need for the design system. So right there, you need to just, at the first stage, you need just to know what design system is. You're not really working on a design system until you are very good to start on your own. Then just know about the style guide, and there is where you're going to learn about color theory, colors to use in your design. So on any of this, we need a detailed tutorial. Mention that in the comment section, and I'm going to give you like a very detailed tutorial on them. So yeah, after knowing about color in UX design, and I said color theory, 60-30-10 color rule, how to use color in your design, color systems for your projects. Then right here too, we are going to have typography. So you need to know what typography is. You need to know the anatomy of typography. Then you need to know typefaces. You need to know fonts. You need to actually know the difference between typefaces and fonts so that you don't use them wrongly. So you know that. Then you create your type scale. Then you need to know how to use images in UI design. The right image, how to use them, and this is where overlay comes in. Then we are going to talk about icon in UI design. So how to use icons, what are the right sizes. This is where we are going to come with elevation. So you're going to learn how to use shadows, when to use shadows, when not to use shadows, situations that require you using shadows. I know you are still starting and your first designs are not going to look great. So in here, you're going to learn components, right? Components. And this under components, this is where you need to understand design elements. And this includes navigation, button, card, modal, so that you don't use the wrong words for your elements. You want to know the difference between cards and modal, right? And now when you're speaking with somebody, they understand that, oh yeah, this person is so skilled, they know what they are talking about. And when it comes to UI elements, I'll give you the link for this is on the ultimate guide, but it is Mobeans. You can use Mobeans to just check UI elements and see all UI elements there, and you can just see the difference between them. Still under UI design, this is where you're going to learn layouts. So you need to know the common layouts that people actually use in UI designs. They're already tested and proven layouts that actually works for design. So just understand them and use them in your design. You need to understand the system before you can actually break it. So understand the system now. So you need to understand spacing in UI design. It is very, very important. And for spacing, we have two most commonly used spacing systems: the 4 pixel and the 8 pixel. This is just like a multiple of 4, a multiple 8. That means when you use 8 for your spacing, the next number you're using a multiple of 8 is 16. But when you're using 4, after using 8, the next number you can use is actually 12. So that is it for spacing system, but you need to do more research. Like I said, please do more research. Then you need to understand grid in design. And I'll give you a tip for this grid, right? After understanding grid in UI design, learn grid for graphic design. So the way we use grid for both design niche is totally different. So learn that it has been a game changer for me. Then we need to learn accessibility. So, and this accessibility is, we learn accessibility here and designing for ethical and inclusion design. But accessibility in UI designs, and this has to do with colors. What are colors that you can use to the accessibility check mark that you have to meet so that you can be sure that people with visual impairments can actually see and read your website content. And this means accessibility in color and motion and gesture. So which brings us to understand gesture and motion in UI design. So and gestures and motion are mostly for websites, mobile apps. So you need to understand gesture that are dedicated to particular platform. What can the customer do on the website? What can they do on the web? What can they do on the mobile? And design for commonly used gesture. Then you need to understand how to design for responsiveness. This means if you are designing for a website, right, how does that look on mobile? So design for responsiveness. Another thing is you need to learn how to present your design. You can have a great design. If you don't really know how to present it, you're just going to waste that design. So you need to learn how to present your design. So that is all you actually have to learn on UI design. So I'm going to give you a guide. You start with UI, learn color, the most important one, color, typography, spacing, elevation. So this is all you need to learn to actually become a UX designer. This is like the ultimate guide you need to learn to become a UX designer. So I'm going to mention how you can actually get a job in 90 days. I said that at the beginning. So ways you can get a job is posting online every day. As you start learning from day one, start posting your process, start posting your wins, start posting your confusion, all the experience, document it online. The second one is cold email. So cold email is you are reaching out to brands that align with your goals, that align with something you want to do. So if you are designing for B2B now, business to business, or B2C, business to customers, right? You are going to reach out to these businesses and tell them, oh, I'm a UX designer and this is what I can do for your business. Then you can apply for jobs. If you start learning, make a CV and start applying for jobs. So don't wait till you are so skilled up, and because you will never be ready, so start applying for jobs. So let's talk about project ideas that you can have. If you are starting out as a beginner, it is advisable to have 3 projects, and one is going to be a mobile app. The second one is going to be a web application, preferably a dashboard. So the third project is going to be a combination of everything. It's going to be a big project that has a mobile app, a dashboard, and a website. And the reason why I'm saying this is very advisable is companies will be able to like envision that, oh, this person can actually work for us. So I don't want it to be the story that I have to have like the 3 projects before I can start applying to jobs. Start applying the moment. When I got my first job, I do not even have a case study. So you can click on the link in the description for the ultimate guide. It is actually free. So guys, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we are currently at 1,000 subscribers. This is a big win for us, and thank you all for supporting me.